That is Vultures. The band is Swarm, in all caps, by the way, from Texas. And we've got them with us on Skype. Hopefully everybody can hear each other. Hello, are you guys there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, awesome. Yes, I can. You guys hear me okay?
I hear you clear.
Beautiful, beautiful. I always get nervous when we're merging calls with Skype because, well, it's Skype and you know how that can go, but it looks like we were successful. Welcome, guys. Who do we have on the line with us? Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Parrish. I'm the singer of Swarm and also the original creator. And then we got Bats, our guitar player here.
Yep, I'm here. I'm Bats. I play the guitar.
All right, welcome. Hey, I love your sound. I have to say, so I feel like the genre of, I guess, industrial metal would be the term. I feel like there's not enough of it. I feel like there was a time when there were a lot of bands doing this, but I don't feel like there's that many around right now that are doing this. So when Jenny sent me you guys and said, this is a guest that I've booked, I listened to these tracks and we're going to play another one at the end of our conversation. And I was just blown away. This is great stuff.
I really appreciate that a lot.
Do you guys kind of, where in Texas are you? Are you in Dallas?
We are.
Dallas, Texas.
Okay. Yeah, we've talked to a number of bands over the past couple of years from your area, but they're always just like, metal, mostly just straight metal. So this industrial aspect is, like I said, it's unusual. I mean, are there other bands in your area doing what you're doing, or do you guys really kind of stand out?
We're kind of the only industrial metal band here in DFW. We do have industrial acts here, which we do play a lot with and stuff. And we also cross genre and play with a lot of metal shows. But as far as like an actual industrial metal style band, we're pretty much the only one here in DFW.
Yep, it's just us.
Yeah. So I would imagine doing what you're doing, like you said, you play with a lot of industrial bands. You also play with a lot of metal bands?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you kind of fit in either way, right?
Yeah.
When you play shows with... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Believe it or not, our actual first show as an actual band and not a solo project was a death metal concert.
No kidding. Yeah. So in a scenario like that, how does the crowd react to it? I mean, even if they're trepidatious at first, I imagine you can win them over, but are people into it right from the onset, or is there a process of kind of winning people over because, you stand out a little bit, right? You're doing something a little different than what everybody else is doing.
So the first time that I performed, we performed with the death metal show, which was our first concert, I was very nervous, and I was like, these are a bunch of big metalhead dudes, and we're not up there ooh, a Cookie Monster, so it's not, we're not quite that heavy. So I was kind of scared how they were going to take to it. But to be quite honest with you, as soon as we got going, I guess people were just happy to hear, more metal, and different kinds of metal. And I've been noticing, a lot of the shows here lately have been cross genre, as far as different types of metal. We're very blessed here in DFW to have the scene that we have and a lot of understanding people who just have a knack for different kinds of music and different types of metal, so it's been a definite blessing. We've gotten to play with a lot of different metal bands and different types of metal acts, and we've played with a lot of different types of industrial acts. So it's gotten kind of the best of both worlds. We really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's excellent.
We do.
That's excellent. Paris, you mentioned you started the project.
Yeah, so originally I was in a synth pop band.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, wow.
And I wanted to do something that was completely opposite, just unfriendly, mean, heavy, and broody sounding. So during the COVID time, lockdowns and everything, I just had a lot of time off work. So I just sat there and started creating a different sound palette and coming up with the Swarm sound. And then I got a show that I had to fill in for my other band because my singer was sick, and I was scared to death because it was just me and a bunch of synthesizers. And, I got up on stage and performed, nervous as heck, it can be, and everybody was like feeling it, and I was just so impressed. And I got off stage, and next thing you know, like I had more offers for shows, and I was time to make this a band, So I started reaching out, and we went through some lineup changes, and Bats here, he's been one of the most long-term members we've had so far in the band. Definitely a keeper, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And
Good.
he's really added a lot to the heaviness factor, and he's got a lot of new metal influences. So
Yeah.
it brought us into like a whole new, genre, where we're not even just like we're catering to like so many different genres, because each one of us has our own different music taste, and we all bring it to the table,
Yeah, that's great. And Bats, I assume you played in other bands before Swarm?
Oh, yes. I played in multiple bands. I'm originally from the New York, New Jersey area.
Oh, okay.
So I was part of that metalcore scene back in the early 2000s. And when I moved down here, I didn't play for a while. And then I saw a Facebook ad with this guy a year and a half ago. And I was like, you know what? I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I reached out, sent him a video, and he was like, you're in, buddy boy.
What was it that so you're from the Northeast, so what was it that brought you to Dallas?
Oh, it was during the 2009 during the recession, and this is where the jobs were.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Yeah, and it worked out musically for you, that's for sure.
It really did. It took almost 14 years, but finally landed a real nice gig with Swarm, and I wouldn't want to be in any other band. It's probably the best band I've ever been in. I've been in a lot of bands, and it's just the camaraderie, just even the musical talent. Like Parrish was saying, all four of us, we all have different musical taste, and we all bring it in together, and it comes out like we have new metal, we have industrial, we have hardcore, and it just all comes together.
Yeah.
Because
go. Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to add to that. Yeah. So, like I come from the hardcore punk scene, and, I didn't get into industrial until like 3 years ago. So it's still all new to me, Wow. But, yeah, we're a big old melting pot.
No, that's great. Whoops, I didn't mean to play that yet. Sorry. we are going to play that. You probably recognized it. Just making sure it's loaded up and ready, and I accidentally started playing it. Little sneak preview of Perdition, another great track. But now, so who else is in the band with you, and what does everybody do? Like, do you have a live drummer, or how does that work?
So we have struggled with the drummer position in our band. We use, and we're industrial, so we do a lot of programmed distorted drums and modified drums and stuff. So we started off with a drummer, and he was great, but we had to part ways with him due to health reasons. He was a little bit of an older gentleman. We love him to death. Dean, if you're hearing this, we love you, bro.
Yeah, but
we had to part ways, and then we've just kind of struggled with it. And then we added Jermaine, who plays synthesizers and does all the drum machine work for us and everything. And addition to him, and he adds so much energy back there. Just having him on stage, we just kind of decided not to have a drummer. We may in the future add one, but as of right now, we just run our drum machines and stuff. But definitely if we find somebody, they gotta jive with us, because we're all best friends, and it's kind of a plus, that we all get along as good as we do. But at the same time, it's a curse, because we definitely want somebody who can fit with us, because we spend a lot of time together, and it makes sense, at the end of the day.
Yeah. But it's great that you have a project where you don't necessarily need a drummer. I mean, when you're doing something, heavy and aggressive, industrial is the one sort of zone of that where you can, not necessarily have a drummer. And I know that, and this seems to be universal, because whether I talk to somebody from Dallas or whether somebody from the local area up here or whomever it is, drummers seem to be the hardest to find. And
they really are.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they're play in like 12 different bands.
Yes.
And they're 20 different bands.
Yeah. Well, I have a theory about that. I think what happens is, when you're growing up and you want to start playing a musical instrument, when you have to go have the conversation with your parents about, I want to play and here's what I want to play, that and drums and maybe the tuba are the two instruments where they're going to actively try to talk you out of, nobody wants, no parents want, drums in their, unless they live in an area where there's no neighbors and you know what I mean? So that's my theory about why drummers are in such high demand and there seems to be so few of them.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been a challenge. We've tried a few different guys out and it's just styles didn't match and stuff of that nature. So, we're not actively looking for anybody. We personally feel that the right person will come our way and we'll just know,
And then when it comes to bass, Vinny Steele, our bass player, that guy is a show in himself. Even if we didn't play, you can put Vinny there with him and his bass, and it would be a show, and people would pay to play to see it.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, he's a monster on stage, and he comes from the hardcore scene too.
Oh,
so he'll be on stage hardcore dancing and throwing his bass around, and just he's something to see for sure.
He can play that bass like our one song Heartworm. We'll be playing it. He will punch the notes in, literally punch his guitar, and still keep playing the song.
Wow. Well, I'm a bass player myself, so I have to tell you, I really admire that. I'll have to. Are there videos online, like on YouTube? Are there videos of you guys playing live?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
We do have those. It's a swarm_DTX.
Okay.
And we have a lot of live videos up. Some actual full shows of us even.
Oh, I'm gonna check.
Yeah,
we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on good old TikTok.
Okay. Very good. So I'm curious too about the name. Where does the name come from and why is it in all caps? And is there any particular significance to that?
So when I originally started this project, it didn't have a name, and I just kind of quickly just I wanted something that fit the sound, and I did like a lot of grainy synths that kind of reminded me of like insects buzzing and stuff. So that was kind of like the whole like aspect of it. And then a lot of my songs are anti-government and anti-this and anti-that. So it's like we swarm, to stuff. And, it's like, I don't know, just kind of fit. And as far as the all caps is concerned, I think that's just the way the logo shaped up. It's really not in all caps, but it's to be honest with you, that's never been discussed before. You've opened a new discussion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not abbreviations or anything like that.
It's it's funny because there's some bands too that for whatever reason just get spelled in all caps for no apparent reason. Like I'm a Kiss fan. My favorite band is Kiss, but you'll often see Kiss written in all caps, even though it doesn't stand for anything. Or Rush is another example. You'll often see Rush written in all caps for no apparent reason. It's just people just write it that way, It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the way that our logo is drawn. Yeah, it's in all caps, which I designed it myself, so that might have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Now, what about the live show? Because obviously the music that you're doing and the style, it lends itself to, do you have any kind of production going on or any kind of stage effects? Or maybe you don't need that with your bass player, who's apparently very energetic on stage. But, does anything do you have like a projection screen or anything like that?
So we are very we have some of the best venues here in DFW, and most of them offer full light shows and everything.
Really?
And yeah, we've got if you ever are in town, check out Haltom Theater. I recommend it, and you got to get a hot dog while you're there. But it's a great place, and as far as we've been spoiled, I'm not even gonna lie. We started off. Our old drummer, when we had our drummer, he had a lot of lighting rigs and lasers, and it was cool looking. But we kind of let that go because setting all that stuff up on these shows, you only got so much time on stage, and we never really sat down and perfected that aspect of it. So we've been kind of running bare bones. But it's definitely stuff that we've been talking about adding. Like we just recently, I started incorporating a mask on certain songs that I wear.
Yeah.
It just fits the songs. And we have the song called Heartworm where I wear it and stuff. So we're definitely getting to the point where we are about to start investing a little bit more in the actual scenery on stage and stuff. So,
Yeah.
And, one thing we do is, like, I move around a lot, and Jermaine, Bloodied, he's in the back of the synth. He moves around a lot too. He is constantly moving, and Vince is constantly moving, and Parrish is moving. There's a lot going on stage, even without the lighting.
Yeah.
But like Parrish was saying, we're gonna start adding those up, some banners, because I don't use an amp. I actually plug in directly with an amp modeler.
Oh, no kidding.
So set up, I could be on stage in 2 minutes or less. Plug in, XLR, done. Same thing with Vinny Steele.
I'll bet other bands that you play with love you for that too. That and the lack of a drummer. I bet other bands that you play with love you for that, because I just know from my own experience, like, there's nothing worse than, waiting for, when you got a bunch of bands on a show. And I also used to promote a lot of shows, and it's like, there's nothing worse than when you're waiting for bands to set up and they're taking forever. Even worse when, like, if you're following a band and you're waiting to get on stage and they're taking forever to break everything down. But it sounds like you guys must be super efficient with that, I would imagine, with the way that you approach your setup.
Oh yeah,
we can set up in about 8 minutes, the whole band.
No kidding.
Yeah. Now we do take the drum riser up though. We put Jermaine up there, and he has his whole synth station set up and everything. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I don't know if you've ever seen Skinny Puppy live, but it's kind of, like Kevin Keys has a setup. It's monstrous. I got to see their last show, which was also my first time seeing them, and it was so just to see his rig up there. And that's kind of how we run. He has his big setup up there. He kind of overtowers us, and he's just back there and just throwing so much energy out into the crowd. It's unreal.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Do you guys have any music videos? Have you made any videos that you've posted other than, you mentioned there's live performances, but have you produced any videos?
We have not yet. We're actually about to start getting into that. We have a song called Heartworm that we're, when Heartworm was originally written, it was with a lot of different members besides me and Billy. Mm-hmm. So we're going to amp that song, and we're going to be releasing a new EP with that and a couple of other new songs on it, and a cover of Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff.
Oh, oh, that's cool. I used to be in a band that we would cover that song.
Yeah,
you outed my name, Parrish.
Do what?
You said Billy. You outed me.
Oh no, bats. Sorry.
Oops.
It's okay. Everybody knows me. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. There you go. Break Stuff is a fun song to play. I was in a band called The Jinxed, and we used to cover that song. And our singer, Rhino, he would like turn purple during the breakdown part. He would get so intense and like much more intense than Fred Durst ever did, from what I've seen. I mean, Ryan would just turn red, like he was so into it. That's a fun song.
We joked about it for the longest because we play with a lot of metal bands, and everybody wants to talk smack about Limp Bizkit, not take them seriously and stuff. And I was like, man, I don't care. I grew up listening to all different kinds of music, and I mean, when you're at a party, and you're in your young teens back then, you partied your butt off listening to Limp Bizkit. Everybody did. So we just doing it as a cover for the longest, and we unveiled it at like an all metal show the first time we ever did it, and people absolutely lost their mind. Like, especially when it pauses and it goes to give me something to break part. Like, everyone started hopping. I was like, "Yep, we're going to be doing this song for a while now."
Oh, yeah. We have video of that. We have full video of that on our TikTok. The full version of that. Oh, and you can even see my wife tried to start a mosh pit during it. It was great.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that's great. You guys do any other covers in this project?
We do. We try to incorporate one cover into our every live set we do. So we have a cover of Heresy by 9 Inch Nails that we play, and It's like really heavy. And got the double bass in it and everything. And we're working on a cover of Turn Me Loose by Loverboy, actually.
No kidding. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's fun. I like that. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Where do you guys record? Because there's so many different ways to record music now.
I actually, believe it or not, I handle all the recording at home. Our next EP is going to actually be the first studio, like in a actual studio setting. I'm gonna have an audio engineer do all the mixing and mastering, because I ain't gonna lie, I hate doing mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
So we're gonna outsource it this go around and get everything nice and polished up and do actual physicals of it and everything, which we'll have available on our website. I'd expect it to be complete probably or towards 2025.
Okay. So you say physical, so you're gonna actually put it out on a CD as well?
Yeah. CD, probably cassettes available.
Cassettes. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. It's been a topic of discussion on the show for a long time. I remember it must have been 5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer. I was on Bandcamp looking for bands and bandcamp.com. And I still remember vividly the moment where I saw that there were artists in this area who were putting out things on cassette. And the first one I stumbled upon, I was like, is this real? And then I realized there were a bunch of artists doing it. I was like, oh my God, cassettes are back. I never saw that coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not, that actually comes from your younger audience. So I go to a lot of punk shows and a lot of more obscure shows, and that's kind of where you'll see the cassette tape set.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was shocked the first time I went. I went to this venue called Kiki's House, and there was an industrial group from California called the Diesel Dudes playing, and they had cassette tapes, and I was like, "What is this?" And so I had to buy one, Yeah. And, I listen to it regularly. Like it's definitely a regular play for me.
That's wild. When you got that cassette, did you have something to play it on, or did you have to get something to play it on?
I had to go. I went to a thrift store and bought like an old ghetto blaster.
Yeah,
and that's what I've been using.
Wow.
Oh, don't let him kid you. He's got a Hello Kitty one.
Nice. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's interesting how one of the things that I find interesting about just getting older is seeing over time how these things change and what goes away and what remains. And sometimes what you think is going to go away or did go away ends up coming back. And sometimes things that you thought would never go away do go away, in terms of technology. And, I used to work I left there in 2013. I used to work for a national chain that sold CDs, and I remember everybody talking about, even back then, any day now, CDs are just going to be gone. There's going to be no more CDs. But even today, here it is, 2024, people still buy CDs. People still want physical media. I mean, it's a lot less than it used to be, but, people still buy it.
Me personally, I'm at a show. If I hear a new band that I really want, as an artist, I understand that, these guys aren't making big money off of these Spotify streams,
Right. We make so much money off Spotify.
So
Thanks.
To me, I feel the ultimate compliment that you can give an artist when you see them live is actually purchasing their music from them, because you're paying them way more for an album than what Spotify's giving them. And not to have like a memory there in your hand, you can pull it up and be like, man, I remember when I bought this. That was a cool show. Those guys are great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a whole CD collection at my house, and it's nothing but local music and DFW bands. And I always try to pick up my favorite bands new release and stuff when they drop something new and whatnot.
No, that's great. No, I commend you for that. And that's such an important point that you brought up about, if you're going to support local artists, buy their stuff, because Spotify streams. In fact, Spotify, you guys probably know this already, but I guess recently they've changed it. So now if you're under a certain threshold, they're just not going to pay you anything. and granted, it was only pennies anyway, but so it's
Yeah.
so important to support local music.
Yeah, we were the only thing that saved us is we have a remix out by Xavier from Three Teeth, another well-known industrial metal band.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the only thing pushing us, is that we have that out there. So it's definitely been a blessing.
How did that come about?
Interesting story, actually. I met him in a chat that wasn't even related to their band. I didn't even know about their band.
Huh.
It was Access Virus Form, which is a synthesizer I use, and I commented on a post of his because he had showed a picture of his rig, and I asked him a couple of questions about his synth because I was still learning it. He gave me some real good information on it and everything, and we just kind of started, talking back and forth, and he told me he was in a band, and I was like, really? And he told me, I was like, yeah, we're doing pretty good, and he sent me a copy of music, and I was like, wow. And for me, that was the thing that really got me to want to do industrial, was those guys. And when we started kind of getting a little bit more traction, I was like, man, let's get a remix done. And I was nervous. I wrote him, and I was like, hey, man, you want to do a remix for us? I was surprised he told me he would do it. And, it was pretty cool, actually, it was pretty cool. So he made us a club remix. It was great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Good for you guys. That's great. So what's kind of the trajectory you've got? Do you have anything coming up as far as new music? Obviously we're going to play another track in a moment, but what should we know about what does the future hold for you guys in the short term or the long term?
We do have new music coming up. We definitely do have new music coming up. We got some things in the pipe right now we've recorded, and that's going to be coming soon.
Excellent.
Yeah, stay out there looking for that Street Sweeper song when we release it. It's gonna be a heavy one too. It's bad.
Very cool. Well, please send it to us when it's ready too. We'll play it here, and we'll definitely have to have you guys back. I love what you're doing. Like I said, I feel like there's not enough industrial metal, and it's this stuff is great. I really love it. And what should people know about how to find you guys online to keep up with everything that you're doing?
I'll let Billy handle that one. He's the social media guru.
Well, you can go on our website, www.swarmdtx.com. You can see all our shows on there. We have pictures. We got Spotify to go to. We also have Facebook. Just put in Swarm Dallas. You'll find us.
Okay.
We're on Instagram, Swarm_DTX on Instagram. And on Facebook, we are official Swarm Band on TikTok. You just put that in and we'll pop up.
Excellent. What is the significance of DTX, by the way? I have a feeling D is for Dallas, but
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
And if any of y'all in Dallas, Texas next weekend, we're playing a really awesome show. We're gonna be playing Vulgar Fest at Haltom Theater with our friends in Vivid and Vulgar and Manifestive and Boris. It's gonna be a really good show. Hey, y'all should definitely come out.
Very cool. And thank you both so much, Parrish and Bats. This has been great. I really enjoyed talking with you guys. Like I said, I love your music. We're gonna end this track with this track, Perdition. Anything we should know about this song? I do like the title.
So the song was actually written. I'm not gonna say no names, but
okay.
If anyone's ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, it's kind of about getting away from that and just how much they can just drag you down, and that's kind of what the song's about, basically.
Okay, well, it's relatable. Everyone's been in that situation at one point or another. So great. So we're gonna give this a listen. Guys, thank you so much. Really loved having you on the show. And you've got new music coming, so we will definitely do this again in the not too distant future. But and we're gonna play this track. But I really appreciate you guys joining us today. Thank you both so much.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, guys. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it. All right. That was Parrish and Billy. I'm sorry, Parrish and Bats. See, now I'm doing it from the band Swarm. And check this out. We're going to listen to this and then we're going to come back and we've got a little bit more show to go. So I've got one last thing to share with you all today afterward, but give this a spin. Give this a listen. I'm going to give it a spin. You give it a listen. This is called Perdition and the band is Swarm.